Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tessie and today we'll be cutting an off-shoulder bustier. Please make sure you like, share and subscribe to my channel. So I folded my pattern paper into two. So on the starting point, I'll be chalking my shoulder divided by 2. And on that point, I'll place my tip off 7 inches. I'm taking 7 inches off. My off shoulder is starting from 7 inches. So you determine where you want your off shoulder to start from. So from that line, I chalk down my armhole line, my bust point, under bust, and my waist. So I went ahead to connect my lines. After connecting the lines, I indicated my lines. Now my nipple to nipple divided by 2 is 4 inches plus half an inch. So I'll chalk 4.5 inches straight down. And I connected it to the straight line. So on my bust point, I'll come down by half an inch. On my bust point, I came down by half an inch and I went up by half an inch to prevent the pointiness on that bust area. On my under bust, I came in by 1.5 inches on both sides. On my starting point, I'll be coming in by 1 inches on both sides. So you come in by 1 inches on both sides. Now I'll be connecting my lines. So I'm connecting from the underbust to the waistline. And I'll be connecting from the underbust to the half an inch I came down at using my curve ruler. So you go ahead to connect for each side. Now from my chest line, I'll connect it to the half an inch I came up at the bust area. So what I'll be doing next is placing back the darts and placing my measurement on each line. So on the starting point, I took 2 inches dart, I placed it back on that line. And on the chest line, I placed my bust measurement divided by 4, placed back the dart I took, and added my 2 inches sewing allowance. On my underbust, I placed my underbust measurement divided by 4. I placed back the dart I took and added my 2 inches sewing allowance. On my waistline as well, I placed my waist measurement divided by 4. I placed back the dart I took and added my 2 inches sewing allowance. So now I'll go ahead to connect my lines. After connecting my line, I'll just curve my armhole line. Just watch what I'm doing closely. Go ahead to curve that part. For my sweetheart neck at the center front, I'll be coming down by 1.5 inches. So you determine where you want your sweetheart neckline to be, depend on your preference. So mine is 1.5, so I'm just going to connect just like this. So guys, we are done with the front part. I just decided to take out that area. After doing this, I'll go ahead now to cut out my patterns. So after cutting out my pattern, this is what it looks like. So I went ahead to indicate my lines so you don't get confused. So now this is my front part of the bustier. I'll be cutting the back. So I folded my pattern paper into 2 and I'm going to chalk out 1.5 inches for my zip allowance. So I'll chalk the line straight down. After which I indicated my zip allowance. So after the zip allowance, I'll be taking my shoulder measurement. After the zip allowance, I chalked my shoulder divided by 2 inches and I placed my tape on that line. I'm taking 7 inches off, just the way we did on the front. I chalked my armhole, my bust point line, my underbust line, my waistline. So I went ahead to connect the lines. After connecting my lines, I indicated my chest line, my bust point, my underbust, and my waist. Now my nipple to nipple divided by 2 inches is 4 plus half an inch. I chalked down 4.5 inches on all the lines and I connected it with a straight line. So for my darts on the bust point line, I'll just come up by 1 inches. So you come up by 1 inches, and on your waistline you come in by half an inch on both sides. So I came in by half an inch on both sides and I connected it to the 1 inches I came up at. So after doing this, I'll go ahead to place my body measurement. So on the chest line, I placed my bust divided by 4 inches after the zip allowance plus 2 inches sewing allowance. On the under bust, I placed my under bust measurement divided by 4 plus the dart I took plus my 2 inches sewing allowance. On the waistline also, I placed my waist measurement, placed back the dart and my 2 inches sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead now to connect my lines together. So after connecting my lines, I'll just curve my armhole using my curve ruler. So just watch what I did. We just go ahead to cut. So now we are done with the back pattern. I'll go ahead to cut out my back pattern. So I indicated my line so you don't get confused. Now we are done, and this is what the off shoulder bustier looks like, as you can see, for the front and the back. And I will be dropping a tutorial on how to perfectly pad your bustier. Hope this video was helpful. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel for more videos. For now, I'll say bye.